Beards and Beers here.
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
We're just we're here. We're about to do our first ever cider on the channel and our second ever Twitch stream. So this is going to be pretty exciting. Hopefully we get some viewers in here and we get the ball rolling a little bit. We are starting off at Bishop Cider. The reason is I went to Cidercade the other day and I was like, whoa, they have a seasonal cider. That sounds a little weird. Hence why we're doing a Let's Get Weird episode. It is the Pecan Pie cider. Yes, you heard me right. Pecan Pie cider.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't get more Thanksgiving than this.
Ready for this. I'm ready to try this. It's that fall time. The weather's cooling down a little bit. Everybody's getting those nice, pecan pies and everything ready for Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas after that. We're not going to play Christmas music here, so don't worry about that because we're not ready for this.
That'll be in our 12 Beers of Christmas episodes that we do next month. That's when you have to deal with the Christmas music.
It's fall, y'all. And we baked up a classic dessert for your pie hole. Semi-sweet and made with Texas-grown pecans. Pecan pie has just the right amount of sweet you'll want to eat. The whole thing. It's as easy as, pie. That's what they said here. So let's go ahead and grab a slice of this action here. You guys want to open it up?
Let's crack them.
Let's do it.
Crack them. Ooh. That was a very satisfying crack.
Always is.
And the pour.
Now, obviously, with these ciders, you don't have to do as an aggressive of a pour angle. Oh, apparently I was wrong. It's still got a hell of a lot of carbonation here.
I'm glad I still figured out how to pour.
You know what?
Yeah. So it looks very nice. Cidery. Definitely.
Very cidery.
It definitely looks
very
cidery. Let's go ahead and top
aromatic.
this off. Let's smell it first.
Let's give it a smell.
It just, I don't really...
Sweet?
It smells like a cider. Yeah, it smells sweet. It doesn't smell overly sweet, but it smells sweeter than I expected for
I get some apple in there, but definitely like nuttiness.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of both.
I was also expecting the sweetness to just punch you in the nose.
Yeah. Now, Justin, would you explain to everyone why we are adding the whipped cream?
So when I went to Bishop Cider, Cidercade the other day in Dallas, this is how they served it with whipped cream on top. So I figured, why not stay true to what they do and put whipped cream on top? Because it is a pumpkin pie, and you're crazy if you eat pie without
pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
What'd I say?
You said pumpkin.
Oh,
that was last week, bud.
Forget me. Pecan pie. You're crazy if you eat any kind of pie without whipped cream, unless it's like a meat pie. Unless it's like a meat pie. Don't eat meat pie with.
Yeah.
Anyways,
don't knock it till you try it, I guess. But...
Let's try it, guys.
Cheers, gents.
Cheers.
We got to get rid of this whipped cream first.
Oh, we gonna get some mustaches up in here.
All right, let's go.
So the pecan notes definitely hit you right off the bat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And what's up, Josh?
So with ciders, I tend to get a little bit of that acidity, that fruit acidity. And I noticed that I got it at first, but the second I tasted more of that whipped cream, it really cut back and balanced it nicely. So I think that
it really does
on this is a great way to serve this to keep it well balanced in that side.
Well, also, this cider does come in at 6%, so it is a little bit higher of a cider than most normally are, because usually ciders we see like 4 to 5. So it's a little bit higher. It's also a semi-sweet cider, and it's nutty, obviously, with being pecan.
Yeah.
So that has a lot of stuff kicking back on that the usual acidity and the sweetness that you would normally get from a cider. But it still
It's-
it tastes awesome.
One thing I like about this
absolutely
is
does.
it's not overly carbonated. I find that some ciders
Yeah.
tend to be like crazy bubbly. I mean, I'm talking borderline seltzers. And I think that this was once again just very well balanced.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So this is
I was really worried about it being, because I mean, pecan pie outside of pecans is very sweet, and I was worried about the sweetness being overpowering in it, and it's definitely not. It's well balanced.
So this tastes more like not just like fresh pecans, but like if they were roasted. Like it has that kind of like
Almost
it
like
has
a
a little bit
smoky-
of a smokiness to it in the back.
Totally
It's
agree.
very subtle, but it's not. It's there.
I can't get enough of the whipped cream.
Yeah.
Just over
That's
here.
why
Just,
That's why we all got full cans of it.
there we go. So obviously, this is our first cider for the channel. We're looking to do more of these ciders and seltzers, but as the first one, what are your ratings and your overall summary of the experience?
Jimothy, you can go ahead and take first dibs on this one.
All right, so I haven't had very many ciders. It's not something I've delved into very often. So only other time I've had any was when I went to the Cidercade as well. I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years ago.
It's a great place. It's where I met my girlfriend.
Yeah, I was there.
Facts.
But I really enjoyed it. It's definitely something different that we haven't done on the channel before. I think they did a really good job with it. Like, it's really well balanced. It's not overly sweet. It's got those smoky notes from like the roasted pecans. So I really enjoyed it.
So
I
what do
definitely think
you
the whipped
give it
cream.
out of 5?
So I enjoy it. Beer's still my favorite.
Of course.
So I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay, yeah, fair. It is it's definitely a weird cider, being nutty and everything. So that's definitely a fair rating. I do, before I rate it, I want to go into a little bit of what like the history of cider, I guess. If that's all right.
or Cidercade?
Cider.
Okay. Yeah.
Like just
absolutely,
in
like hard
general.
ciders.
Yeah.
Okay.
So cider is a very old technique and a very old drink. It was first recorded in reference to the first reference to ciders that has been found dates back to Julius Caesar's first attempt to invade Britain in 55 BCE.
Wow.
Where he found native Celts fermenting crab apples. So he took that discovery back through continental Europe and was treating his troops with it. So that's pretty much like the earliest back that we have history of ciders, which is pretty cool. Like, you guys know me, I'm a big history guy, so I like that kind of stuff.
No.
And
you
I
said
thought that was a pretty cool fact.
That's the furthest back for ciders or hard ciders? Just cider in general?
Ciders, like hard ciders, like alcoholic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That sorry, I should clarify. That was sort of my question.
Yeah. Well, with the whole fermenting process and everything.
Oh, duh. You said fermenting. Yeah. I heard it, and it went in this earpiece and out the other one and back into the loop.
And then again, like ciders from like southwest of England are generally stronger than most other ciders. And
there's one out of there that's very well known. Strongbow?
I believe so. Yeah.
Strongbow cider?
Strongbow is pretty well known.
Yeah.
It's a big company. There's what is it? Central Europe also has its own type of cider with Rhineland and what is it?
If you're gonna make noises, at least say hello.
Hi, Brando. And anyways, their ciders produce a particularly tart version known as apple vine. So it's more like an apple wine.
Okay.
Hence the name apple vine. Which in the US also ciders they're fermented like anywhere else here. And they're often known in the US and only the US as hard ciders. They don't refer to them as hard ciders anywhere else.
Interesting.
Which in the US, they just use it to distinguish between alcoholic ciders and non-alcoholic ciders, or sweet ciders.
Well, and I know back when back where I was from in New York, we had a place called the Cider Mill, but there was never anything fermented. It was all just natural apple ciders, as opposed to this alcoholic cider. So I can understand the want to differentiate, at least from what I've experienced growing up. So
Okay,
I totally get that. Just as a side note,
what would you describe the color of this cider as?
so it has.
Would you say slightly cloudy,
So
or is it clear, and
it
is it gold or
started-
is it yellow?
It started clear. I started clear-ish. So not 100% clear, had slight clouding to it, but I think as the sugars from the whipped cream dissolve, it has made it a little bit more cloudy on my end, and it's actually lightened the color. It was more of like a sort of a roasted gold color. Now it's more of a lighter yellowish gold color, at least for me. But once again, I think that has to do with the breaking down of the sugars of the whipped cream.
Also feel like our cameras are making it appear darker than it is to our eyes.
I agree with that, Jim. I
Totally.
definitely agree with that. So with it, when we poured it, it had that kind of goldish color to it, more so than it did yellow.
Yeah.
So it was like a pale to medium gold, and it was definitely clear. You could see right through it, right?
Oh yeah.
So this, I would say, is more of a New World cider, is what that would make it. Because there's other colors. There's medium yellow to amber. There's medium gold. There's several different like color variances between ciders, and
well, it's a wide range,
especially
especially depending on what was put into it. Obviously, your darker fruits are going to have more of an impact, but I know the majority of ciders are all apple based with natural additives. Isn't the right word, because a lot of it is organic, so it's not like man-made or anything, but there are other items put into the process that really shift that color depending on those items' base colors. So I think the pecans really brought out more of that darker coloration, and I think that was really big. I've seen some. I know Ace cider was a big one that I used to enjoy when I was younger.
Ooh,
like
pineapple cider.
The pineapple.
Pear too.
It's just a lot more of that lighter sort of pale coloration. A little like way lower on the SRM scale, but I think this was really well executed.
Yeah, I think so as well. What would you rate it?
So, as for what it was, they hit it on the head. I noticed more apple in there than I expected from a pecan pie cider, and I'm not a real sweet guy, so it almost helped that it was a little bit more on the acidic scale. So I'm between a 3 and a 3.5. I'll go with a 3.5, like Jim said, just to keep that right there. And I'm real on that middle scale, but I'm looking forward to understanding ciders a little bit more as we delve into them more on the channel.
Absolutely, and I'm not very well versed in ciders either. I think this is. I mean, we're in November right now, and this is, I think, maybe the third cider I've had all year. So
fair enough.
Definitely don't drink them that often, but they are nice and light and refreshing, and I think it is something that we should dive in more to here.
Absolutely. It's a nice change up.
And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to concur with you guys and give it a 3.5. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and we all had the same score on that one. 3.5. It's a very respectable score for definitely a new thing that we're doing on the channel.
Right.
So
absolutely,
we came into this not knowing what to really expect and what we were doing with this, because we've never done a cider on the channel. So I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, definitely.
Feel free to give us feedback, like always. Comment section right down here. Also, if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe. Do all that for us, and we will put out more and more content for you guys and do what we love doing here for you.
Please.
And inform you about beer, help promote local, all that stuff. It's what we're about.
Clinky, gentlemen.
Cheers.
And on that note, as always, beards and beers
Beards and beers out.